Begin working in your notebook. Use thinking bars to solve this warm-up problem. Pause the video for now, finish it, and check your work when you're done. Today we're going to add and subtract mixed numbers and estimate with fractions. Write this down in your learning target in your notebook. A mixed number is a whole number and a proper fraction combined. So we have the whole number 2 and then the numerator and denominator of 1/3. You can see we've so far have talked below here about proper fractions, improper fractions, and now we're adding in this mixed number part. We have talked about them, but we're really going to focus on what to do when we add with them today. Write this down in your notebook. Pause it if you need to. So again, a mixed number is a whole number, and it's accompanied by, or it includes, a fraction. So if we have one whole in this example, one whole, and then we would have 1/2 thirds. So this piece would be missing. Here we have one whole, 2 wholes, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sixths. Selma jogged 2 3/4 of a mile and walked 1.5 miles. How many miles did she jog and run altogether? The first thing we're going to want to do is find the least common denominator or multiple of 4 and 2. We can see that 4 would be the least common. Now what we're going to do is we're going to change these mixed numbers to improper fractions. So we're going to multiply 2 times 4, and we know that equals 8. Now we're going to add the numerator to that amount. So 8 plus 3, you bet it's 11. So we will rewrite this fraction as 11 for the numerator over 4. Let's do the same steps for the next mixed number, 1.5. Again, we're going to multiply 1 times 2, which is 2, plus 1, 3, keep the same denominator for now. Now we're back to adding improper fractions. Our numerators are larger than our denominators. So we've already identified that 4 is the common multiple, the least common multiple. So let's go ahead and rewrite this with 4's in the denominator. Four times 1, do that to the bottom, do it to the top. 11 times 1 is 11. 2 multiplied by 2 will get us to 4. Do that to the bottom, do it to the top. 11 plus 6, 17. We are left with an improper fraction. What we're going to do is simply divide, because we understand that fractions mean to divide. So let's divide 17 by 4. I know 4 times 4 is 16. Now instead of putting a remainder for 1, we're going to use the 1 to become a numerator, and this 4 right here is staying my denominator. 4 1/4. And that makes sense that 4 is the denominator since it was in all of these examples. The reason that we're changing our mixed numbers into improper fractions really is because when we subtract, it will be the most efficient strategy to use, and it's a great habit to get into just to ensure that our math is correct and accurate. Emily ran 2 1/8 miles and then cycled 5/9 miles on a morning. Let's find the total distance that she ran and cycled. We're going to multiply the whole number times the denominator. 2 times 8 is 16. Now let's add the numerator to that value. So 16 plus 1 is 17. Our denominator will stay the same, 17/8. It's kind of hard to see. Five times 10 is 50. Now let's add the numerator, 9 to that. That gets us 59. Now we need to just add our improper fractions. And again, we're going to think about the multiples of 8. I'll let you finish or continue. Eventually, you would see 80 is a common multiple. Did anyone also recognize 40? Let's go ahead and use 40 as a multiple, common multiple. Let's rewrite 40 as the denominator. Eight times what number gets us 40? Do that to the bottom. Do it to the top. You might want to write this down at the bottom. We have 35. Multiply times 4 with 10 to get 40. Do that to the bottom. Do it to the top. 236. Add these two numbers together. 6 plus 5 is 11. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now we still have this as an improper fraction. We know that this line right here, fraction bar, means to divide. So I would like you to divide 321 by 40. Forty times 2, 80. 40 times 3. Keep going until you can find how many times it goes into it close, as close as possible. You may have, once you've reached 40 times 8, you may have noticed that the product 320 is as close as we're going to get. So we divide, multiply, subtract. We're left with 1. Now instead of writing R1, we're going to use this 1 to be the numerator, the number on top, and the 40 will stay the denominator, since that's been the denominator that entire time. Eight and 1/40th of a mile was ran by Emily and cycled. Fifth graders, try this one on your own if you still have time before you need to transition. Great job focusing on adding and subtracting with mixed numbers.